Hello and welcome to the C192, also known as the newest generation of the Mercedes-AMG GT. This is the GT63, the top trim here in Canada. But in other countries, you can get a GT43, a four-cylinder rear-wheel drive under a 4,000-pound variant of this vehicle. Or if you want to go to the complete other side, you can get the GT63 Pro, a track-focused version. Either way, you're still getting this absolutely gorgeous vehicle here. And before you say it's, well, quite watered down than the previous, have a listen to this. Okay, sure, the previous generation had dry sump, had a transaxle, and weighed quite a bit less. However, this generation is less about being more track focused and more towards, well, just everyday comfort. Because yes, you have comfort options. You got the adaptive suspension to make it so comfortable just on daily streets. But let me tell you everything you need to know. But I'm gonna do that inside because it's so cold. All right, so what do you have to know about this generation? Yes, it's wider, fatter, taller, and basically in every single measurement, it's bigger than before. But there's nice things to that. You get the additional of the rear seats. This vehicle doesn't have that option. You also get four-wheel drive or 4Matic so that, you know, when the weather isn't the best, like today, you have that security of four-wheel drive. And even if it starts snowing or whatever, well, you can still drive your AMG GT. You don't have to leave this at home. This can be your one vehicle that does it all. Because, well, it's actually surprisingly capable. The trunk, I mean, with the rear seats as it is, it's the same size as an 812 Superfast. So you can say it's the same cargo capacity as that. If you drop down the rear seats, that's only if you get the rear seat option. If you get the bulkhead like, well, this vehicle has, that's not movable, at least not without some tools. But if you fold the rear seats down, then you get the same size trunk as a Prius. So that's something, but it is actually quite a large space. And it is a 2+2. No, the rear seats, even if you get them, they're not the most, well, cavernous amount of space. You can probably fit a kid in there. You do get some child seat anchors, so at least you get that as an option if you were to fit a child seat. But looking at just the amount of space, I really doubt that. In front, these are the optional bucketed sport seats. They're great at gripping you in. They have adjustable bolsters on the side to squeeze everything out of you. However, if you're really looking at the standard GT car, maybe just go with the standard seats, as I mean, in pictures anyways, they look a little bit more comfortable. In front, it's more standard Mercedes than the previous generation, where it had that kind of fighter style cockpit with switches on the top. This is more traditional Mercedes. You got your standard Mercedes steering wheel with the haptic buttons, which I don't really like, but I mean, it's fine. You do get your AMG dials on the bottom to switch your drive modes and some additional options on the left. Pretty good digital cluster right behind, shows you everything you need. And of course, that's quite customizable. You got different layouts and whatnot. Same thing with the heads-up display. You can really show what you need there. Some of those are optional extras. This aspect, this is 230,000 Canadian dollars. A base price is 190. But a lot of those go to the ceramic bricks that this has at 13,000 Canadian, which I personally wouldn't option. It's not really a track car. But anyways, back to the inside. The tablet, standard in many Mercedes vehicle, it works the way that you think it should. It's fine. No real issues with that. Baked in climate control right on the bottom, cup holders in the middle, a Qi wireless charger. It's your standard Mercedes affair, but I feel like this is at least built a little bit better than your standard C-Class. I mean, you kind of expect it at the price range, but there's no rattles or creaks that's in the center console or on the side. Up top, a little bit, but I still feel like that may be a little bit better than like the standard C-Class, but that could be also because this vehicle has like 14,000 kilometers on it. So maybe it's a little bit more massage, a little bit more worked in, or maybe they brought it back to the dealership and they fixed a few things. In any case, let's talk about the engine. This is a handcrafted 4-liter V8. Yes, you got 2 turbos, and it makes 577 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. Mated to that, of course, is the 9-speed automatic and all-wheel drive. On the road, well, the AMG GT is relatively comfortable. I mean, in its comfort mode, suspension is relatively compliant. Yes, the 21-inch wheel still kind of crashes over anything that's on the road, like these reflectors. It's a little loud, but it's still pretty comfortable. I wouldn't say it's much worse than a standard Mercedes should. So you get that Mercedes kind of quality to it. However, even without putting it into sport or race mode or anything like that, even in comfort, right now, driving a 6th gear, you're like, I want to overtake someone. Put that foot down, it hops down to 3rd, and you're well on your way. It's still a sports car at heart, and it's able to do the things that you need it to do in a sports car. So, sure, it lost some of its magic with just the overall architecture of the vehicle and the fact that it's shared with like the SL, for example. It's maybe a little bit less special, but it's still a good sports car. It still has all the fundamentals that you will need to have enjoyment in the vehicle. But now it's just a little bit more dual purpose. Yes, it's sporty, but it's still a good long distance tour, as long as you don't get these seats. My back and this, it's just a little too hard for me. But that could be just me. I got a bad back. Things do turn up a little bit when you engage sport mode or race mode, as I have here. Let's shift down a bit. It's I wouldn't say it's like a full transformation of the vehicle, but it's pretty good. This is still a whole lot of fun. What is a little weird is the rear steer on it. It's a little bit odd feeling. You definitely feel it. It just doesn't feel as connected as a standard fixed rear wheel would. But I do appreciate the rear wheel steer when maneuvering and whatnot. But when it's a little bit more of a complex kind of corner, it's a little floppy. It's just a little bit floppy. But that powertrain, it's tremendous. You put your foot down, globs of power, tons of torque. So you don't have to like shift down, but you kind of want to. You want to hear that engine. Yes, this is too much power for the road, and no, you're not going to be full throttle every single moment that you can. You just can't. But for the moments that you can, it's absolutely ridiculous. And yes, this has the carbon ceramic brakes, like I said before. $13,000 option. If I was to spec one, I probably wouldn't pick it, because I know well, when it's time to replace rotors, pads, and everything with a carbon ceramic package, it's a lot of money. So, as a person that's maybe interested in buying one of these, not now because I can't afford it, but maybe 20, 30 years from now, please don't expect a carbon package. So cheap me that's going to be buying this car in 20, 30 years from now, doesn't have to spend that kind of money getting expensive brakes when it's time to replace them for track duty or whatever it is. This is just, it's a whole lot of fun. It really is. In any case, I'm going to leave you with some driving footage so that you can listen to the intake on the left side and the exhaust on the right. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you next time. It doesn't bounce off the rev limiter like an LC500 would. Like, don't like that.